Hi, everybody. Welcome. We're giving it some seconds for everybody to join in. But thank you very much for being here today. Um, Good morning or good afternoon. I am Rita Morricone. I'm the regional manager for Education USA in the Southern countries. I oversee the offices of Education USA in Argentina, Brazil, Chile, Paraguay, and Uruguay. And today with me, we have advisors, Education USA advisors from Argentina, Brazil, Paraguay, and Uruguay. And on the second webinar that we're going to have, then we're going to have Chile, Ecuador, Peru, and Bolivia. All right. So we divided in two webinars so you can actually meet these advisors and see for yourselves, the beautiful cities that you can recruit in the Southern Cone. With no further ado, I just want to talk a little bit about South America Fair Circuit. We really are opening our arms to you. We're working a lot with the U.S. embassies and consulates in our region. Most of our fairs are going to have consular officers talking on concurrent sessions to students about applying to student visas. We usually have a US embassy or consulate, depending on the city where you're going to visit, booth, where we also have this consular officers, for 3 hours during the fair talking to students. We also usually will have them talking to you on the welcome coffee. When you come, usually it's either a public affairs officer, a cultural affairs officer, or even a consul general or an ambassador that will open our fairs. So this is a U.S. State Department network of advising offices, and we have full support from the local U.S. embassies and consulates in all the cities that the fair stops. You also be talking to some of the advisors here that participate, in open doors chats, with the larger sending country being here as well, and they will be giving you some of the stats and why you should recruit in their cities. The other thing that's very unusual if compared with other fairs is the kind of network and I would say actually advertisement that we do, because not only we have the US missions, the embassies and consulates um, broadcasting you on social media, and we also have a nationwide media press sent by these embassies and consulates to all journalists about your coming to visit us. And so many places we get, TV interviews, we get the media highlighting the success stories of Education USA, and your names are there in the media. So we try to share with you also all the articles that come advertising, your presence in the country. Also, another thing that Southern Cone is doing is having a special day that we bring guidance counselors from schools, high schools, to talk to those of you that want to recruit for undergraduate. And we're also bringing university reps to talk to those of you that are recruiting for graduate. And in some cities, there's even an effort, if by any chance you wear two hats, the admissions hat and the study abroad hat, that we can put you in touch with local international universities for you that are willing to partner. And sometimes partnerships can go a long way. We have one university in the south of Brazil that partnered with a US university on a webinar on negotiation skills. And then all those students apply for the Masters of Law program that US university was offering. So there are so many ways of connecting the dots. And with no further ado, I'm going to pass the mic to Simone Ferreira, who is the head of the Education USA office in Rio de Janeiro at PUC Rio. And she, Davi, and Jefferson will be talking to you about Brazil. Go, Simone.
Thank you, Rita, and hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here, to see some familiar faces and familiar names, and also to know new people. Let me share my screen. Just a second. Can you see my slides?
Yes.
Yes.
Good, excellent. So, very briefly, I will be talking about Brazil. So we have the fair in Brazil in three cities. First in Rio de Janeiro on August 23rd, and then São Paulo on August 25th, and also in Brasília on August 29th. So it's going to be a very busy week. We promise you that we are going to keep you very busy. So Brazil, why to recruit in Brazil? Brazil is a huge country with a population of more than 210 million people. We are the largest country and economy in Latin America. We have a growing middle and upper middle class investing in international education. And the US is still the number one country that families are looking for sending their kids, and also graduate students are looking for opportunities in the US. Test flexible. This is a tip for you. Test flexible and flexible admission can expand the access to potential students. And we have also in Brazil 49 and counting. Rita is always opening new centers. She's going to talk at the end of the presentation. She's going to say, yes, Simone, but we have one more coming. So we are about to have the fifth Education USA Center in Brazil. In the last fair, we had a strong media promotion. So we are always promoting the fair in newspapers and also in social media. But the fair, the Education USA Fair in 2025, appeared 25 times in the 25 times in the news in the media press. So and in some newspapers we had like Jornal Globo or Estadão. These are newspapers similar at the New York Times or Washington Post, for example, and we had a presence in those newspapers. As I said, social media is strong in Brazil, and we are always connecting with students also through social media. For Rio de Janeiro, the city I'm responsible for, I'm the city coordinator. Some reasons for you to recruit in Rio. First of all, we can see here the numbers from the 2025 fair. So we had almost 1,200 students registered for the fair. After each one of these stops, you'll be receiving the leads of each single people that register for our fairs. I think it's important to clarify this. We are not going to receive the leads of the people who in fact go to our fair. You receive the leads for everyone. So we have a large recruitment market here. The city is big. We have 6.7 million people. But if you think on the metropolitan area, we have almost 13 million people around here. We have 566 high schools in town and more than 60 higher education institutions, I mean, Brazilian universities. We have a high concentration of strong students, and students, as I said before, looking for opportunities at US colleges, community colleges, and universities. We have a mix here. We have students who can afford the total cost of attendance at US institutions, but you'll be meeting students who are going to ask for funding. By the way, Brazilian students when they come to our booths, they are always going to ask for some funding. This is something that is very I think cultural about the culture in Brazil. Merited, if you have merited scholarships, I suggest that you really promote this opportunities, because students are looking for merit scholarships in order to decrease the cost of attendance. In addition, we have a very strong group of high school counselors in town. And I think this is a highlight. We have a group of more than 50 high school counselors. In fact, we created this group a few years ago, and we meet the high school counselors every 2 months. And these are the people who are going to be meeting you and also promoting the fair and also the opportunity you'll be offering at your institutions. The fair in Rio will be on a Sunday, particularly is the day that I like the most when we have fairs. I love Sundays because it's the day that cariocas, people who are born in Rio de Janeiro, they come to events. And I believe you're going to have a very good fair. The fair will start at 3 and goes until 6 p.m. Of course, you'll be receiving detailed information about our schedule. Before the fair, we always have an opening remarks coffee with the participation. We invite high school counselors, we invite universities, and of course, the participation, also the participation of Post in Brazil. And on Monday, as I told you, we're going to keep you busy. It's going to be a very busy day. Why? Because it will start very early. The bus will pick everyone at the Hilton Hotel, where the fair is going to be, the Hilton Copacabana Hotel. And the bus will leave and will drop everyone at Our Lady of Mercy School. There, you'll be meeting educational state advisors and high school counselors. Remember, I told you about the strong presence of high school counselors in Rio de Janeiro. So you'll be inviting these people to interact with you. And then you have the first school visit at Our Lady of Mercy. We are still confirming with IBMEC, which is a university, a Brazilian university, about this school, this meeting there. And I think we are going also to be able to have a mini fair there. So we potentially you have the mini fair at IBMEC for universities who will be recruiting graduate students. Then we will have the visit one at Our Lady of Mercy for institutions who will be recruiting undergrad, and also for institution recruiting for undergrad. You have the school visit two from noon to 1 p.m. at American School of Rio de Janeiro. And then we drop you back to the hotel, you get your flight, and you go to São Paulo. And now I will pass on to my colleague Davi, who is the fair coordinator for São Paulo.
Hello, everyone. As Rita mentioned, so nice to see familiar faces here, and welcome to the new ones who are coming to São Paulo and to Brazil and to other stops of the circuit. So can we pass on to the next slide, please, Simone?
Sure. And I'm going to mute my mic.
Well, as Rio de Janeiro, São Paulo is also a very large city. In fact, one of the largest one in Southern Hemisphere. We have about 11 million people here in the metropolitan area, 20 million people, and so lots of people here and lots of potential students for your institutions. Well, regarding these institutions, we have many private schools here. We have a lot of public ones, but a lot of private and potential ones for undergraduate recruitment, and also a lot of great universities here, including the private ones that are also the target group for you guys in order of recruiting for graduate, right? We have, in terms of engagement, students in São Paulo here are not academically competitive, but also often capable of covering the full cost of attendance or qualify for merit aid. We see that in many cities in Brazil, they usually can pay, and you know, guys, that you can offer scholarships, and we just try to measure that in order to get this match. Long-term recruitment pipelines can be established through collaboration, as Rita mentioned in the beginning, through ourselves here. Here in São Paulo, we have about 4 offices, soon others to come. And in these host institutions, you're gonna get opportunities even more easily to connect for partnerships. Regarding our last fair last year, we had more than 1,600 registrants and more than 700 attendees, which was actually an increase in about 80% in comparison to 2024. You see the attendance rate there. The school visitors, because yeah, we also have the school visits here. And Simone, can we pass on to the next slide, please? This is our schedule for São Paulo. For São Paulo, we have in the morning of the event, we have an university visit, which is the Intelli Center. It was the same one we had in the beginning of the year here in another fair, but now we're going in another shift. And so we're aiming to get more students this time. And for undergraduate recruitment, Bandeirantes and also Mackenzie School. And we're offering the high school connects, high school and university connects with many of the high schools have been in strong collaboration with us, and also the universities that we're very close to as well with you guys. And then we have the opening remarks, coffee, and the fair. So any questions you have about São Paulo, please let us know. And I'm passing it on now to my colleague Jeff in Brasília.
Thank you, David. Sorry, guys, I just want to apologize in advance because I'm not feeling very well today. So I hope you all have all your antivirus software running. And I'm sorry about that. My name is Jefferson. I'm the fair coordinator here in Brasília. Today, I would like to take a few minutes to share about Brasília and why it should be important for you to make it one stop, make Brasília one of your stops during the South America recruitment journey. Brasília is often recognized as Brazil's political and diplomatic capital. But from a recruitment perspective, it is also one of the country's most internationally connected and academically driven markets. Because the city is home to the federal government embassies and major institutional, major international organizations, many students grow up in highly educated households with a strong appreciation for global education and international opportunities. So as a result, students here tend to be academically ambitious, globally minded, and already thinking international from an early age. Since Brasília combines one of the Brazil's strongest public school systems with outstanding private, bilingual, and international schools, this creates a diverse and highly qualified student population. Students here are generally very well prepared for US admissions and are increasingly focused on finding institutions that offer strong academic outcomes. They are very concerned about that. Career opportunities, they are always looking what they can do after college. And of course, scholarship support. Like Simone said, it's a Brazil characteristic. On the right side of this slide, I would draw your attention to some of the highlights from last year. One statistic I find particularly interesting is the composition of our audience. If you notice, for all the cities, we have participants that were almost evenly distributed among high school students, undergraduate students, and graduate level prospectives. This creates opportunities for institutions recruiting across multiple levels, from bachelor's degrees to master's programs, PhDs, professional degrees such as LLM, MBAs, and many prospective graduate students here in Brasília are already working in governmental agencies, NGOs, research institutions, international organizations, and of course the private sector. So also another advantage of Brasília is the scale of the event itself. We can't actually compare to São Paulo that has lots of people, lots of attendees coming to the fair, but compared to some of the other larger stops on the circuit, Brasília typically hosts a more selective group of participating institutions, while that means fewer universities competing for attention. It also means greater visibility for each institution present. In fact, one of the feedbacks we frequently hear from participating universities is that Brasilia offers a very favorable student to university ratio. So students have more opportunity to engage in meaningful conversations, and university representatives often find they can spend more quality time with prospective applicants and their families. Next slide, please, Simone. So, regarding our agenda, this year our fair in Brasilia will take place on Saturday. It has been a while since it has been on Saturday, but that's great because it gives us time to expand Friday's programming and focus on relationship building. So on Friday morning, university representatives will visit 3 outstanding schools: the American School of Brasilia, which is a smaller school but has high quality students because they come from all over the place, from different countries. We'll also be visiting Marista School and Mackenzie School, who are 2 top high schools here in Brazil, but they are huge. They have really a big amount of students attending those schools and consequently attending the visit as well. So these visits provide direct access to students, counselors, school leaders, while offering a closer look to the Brasilia educational landscape. So, and it is one of the cities that has that visits most high schools in one day as well. We have the most stops. So, and by the evening, after the school visits, we'll host a lunch for all the participating university representatives. And later in the afternoon, we'll gather at Casa Thomas Jefferson for our Counselor Connect networking event. And this is one of the elements that I'm most excited about this year because the additional time created by moving the fair to Saturday allowed us to bring together local counselors, Brazilian university representatives, and you guys to a happy hour with some vegan foods and some drinks in a dedicated networking environment. So you can build relationships, and we hope that those relationships can continue after the fair ends. Because we are true believers that recruitment is also about cultural understanding, and since this visit is going to be happening on Friday, we will conclude the evening with a special presentation introducing you to Brazilian music and culture. Then on Saturday, we'll welcome students from across Brasilia and the surrounding regions. On behalf of EducationUSA Brasilia and Casa Thomas Jefferson, I just want to thank you for our time today. And if you are considering whether Brasilia should be or not part of your recruitment strategy in Brazil, I just want to leave you with a message. Brasilia offers access to talented students, to strong schools, to engaged counselors, and meaningful long-time partnerships. So thank you, and I hope to see you here in Brasilia in August. Now I just want to call Alejandra. The floor is yours.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Jefferson. And just like you, I'm recovering from a cold. So if my voice sounds kind of funny, that's probably why. I'm gonna share my screen really quickly to share with you about Asunción. Wait, and let me just move this. Oh, sorry.
We can see it now.
Here. Yes. Perfect. So Asunción, the capital city of Paraguay, will be having the EducationUSA Fair stop on Monday, August 31st at the Sheraton Hotel in Asunción. These are just some highlights from last year's fair. Last year we had around 1,700 people register and over 800, almost 900 attendees. There's pretty much of a split between people looking for undergraduate and graduate programs. but there's also some people looking for short-term programs such as exchange programs and intensive English, of course. So there's a little bit of everything. Paraguay has 4 Education USA centers in 4 different cities. 2 of those cities are near the border in the east, near Brazil and Argentina. So we often advise students from those regions as well. According to the Open Doors report, we have 665 students in the US currently in different degree level programs. Paraguay is a very young country. There's a lot of young people looking for different opportunities in undergraduate and graduate education. From Education USA, we support a variety of programs supporting people who want to apply to undergraduate programs, such as the Opportunity Funds, Competitive College Club, and we also have a cohort of regular advisees. Something that's very particular about Paraguay is that there is a government scholarship program for graduate studies and exchange programs that covers part of the cost of education. So this is something that is just very interesting to students usually, and we often invite Becal as well to have a booth at our fairs. And for institutions in Kansas and also some other states, there's a Comité Paraguay Kansas, which has alliances with different institutions to give benefits to Paraguayan students. So people are usually interested in those. Here we have the tentative schedule for Asunción. Some of these details are not completely finalized yet, but everything will happen on a Monday, so it will be a very, very busy day. The fair will be from 5 to 8 at the Sheraton Hotel Asunción, but before that, we will have on Monday, mini fair at the American School of Asunción, which they also told us they will be inviting people from some other high schools. We will let you know how many students we expect to receive on that event, just so you can prepare in terms of materials and everything. We will also be inviting you to our welcome lunch and reception, and then give you some time to rest before the fair starts at 5. So after that, you will be traveling to the next stop. And well, we hope to see you in Asunción. Thank you so much. I will pass the mic now to Emilce from Argentina.
Thank you very much, Alejandra. How are you? Hello, everyone. I don't know if you can hear me. Yeah, I think you are. So my name is Emmy. I'm one of the advisors in the city of Buenos Aires in Argentina. And today I want to tell you a little bit about our city and why you should consider to join us as well. So Buenos Aires is home to more than 15 million people in the metropolitan area. That is the city of Buenos Aires and the surrounding area. So we are an educational, cultural, and economic center. That's why we say that it's your gateway to the Argentine student market. We have near us, we also have big cities such as Rosario, and we know that students fly into these kind of events. So you are going to find a lot of people, and a lot of people with very strong interest in international education. So right now there are more than 3,000 Argentinian students enrolled at US higher education institutions. That is an increase of 7.5% compared to last year's numbers. So as I said, big numbers, but also students who are very well prepared. We know that they have an excellent academic preparation. They have also, and this is something that we highlight every time. They have a very strong English proficiency. According to the EF English Proficiency Index, we are #1 from Latin America. And that translates into having students who are going to thrive in your institutions, right? They're going to thrive in English speaking environments. So they're academically strong, they have great English, but they're also very curious and very active. We know that they have high participation in extracurricular activities at universities. They take part they create clubs. They are highly engaged in their communities, and we know that that is something that they enjoy doing, and that is something that universities enjoy as well. And also, they are definitely interested in some expanding areas. So Argentina is undergoing an economic and technological transformation. So some sectors such as energy, mining, agribusiness, fintech, all of those are expanding pretty rapidly. And our students are very interested in those kind of fields. So engineering, sustainability, computer science, public policy, all those programs that we know US universities are offering right now are of great interest to them. So you're going to have a lot of questions about STEM programs specifically. So at the fair, you're going to find also students who attend specifically to meet you, and that is going to give you high quality interactions. As EducationUSA advisors, we spend most of our year helping them navigate the application process and all that it implies. So you're going to hear, as I said before, interesting questions. There's a growing demand for international education as a whole, and they see US degrees as a long-term investment in professional development, global mobility, and career opportunities. And apart from our main event, as my colleagues have explained, we do offer some compliments. So we are visiting schools. Here you're going to find highly engaged students, communities, because they are top schools. This year we're visiting Northlands, which is an international school. It's one of the most important schools in Buenos Aires, in the metropolitan area. And we're also going to visit the Lincoln School, which is the American school. There you will have the chance to connect with the counselors, with school leaders, as they are also inviting students and counselors from the neighborhood, from the surrounding areas. But we're also going to have an exclusive meeting for you. This is a networking meeting where you are going to get to know the rest of the advisors. You're going to have conversations with them as what's going on in other cities where we have our centers, our EducationUSA centers, and also figures of our education area who are very important and who are willing to meet you to create opportunities for future partnerships and outreach. Last year, for our fair, for our stop, we had 901 registrations and 453 attendees, and we added 315 students at our school visits. So we are happy with those numbers, but we're always reaching out for more. So this year, we are working very hard to create and to come up with a very good event. I hope you join us. This is going to be September 2nd at the DoubleTree by Hilton Hotel in the city of Buenos Aires. Thank you very much. And now I pass it on to Scarlett.
Thank you, Emilce. Hi, everyone. I'm going to share my screen. Okay. So I see that we have some questions in the chat. As Rita said, in case that you have any other, please put them there because at the end of the presentation, we're going to address them all. So my name is Scarlett. I'm the EducationUSA advisor in Montevideo, Uruguay. As we say, a small but mighty country with around 3 million people. We are just like 3 hours away from Buenos Aires if you decide to take the ferry. And if not, you're just like a 40-minute flight away. My idea is to share a bit about our country, why you should come and visit us and recruit here. First, maybe some basic information about Uruguay. Well, we are a stable democratic country. We have a long-standing tradition of valuing education. Here in Uruguay, we have like a really good English program on a primary and secondary level. So that's why we like to say that, well, our high English proficiency is something that really stands out. You're going to see that, well, we rank number 3 in the EF English Proficiency Index in Latin America. So you're going to see that for all your visits, when you go to high schools, most of the kids are going to have like a really good English proficiency level. We are really proud of that, even parents as well. Well, we have over 1,500 Uruguayans students studying in the US. One important highlight of Montevideo is that as it is a small academic environment, it's easy to establish partnerships with local universities in the region. So if you are thinking about establishing partnerships with high schools, universities, we can easily put you in contact with their representatives, and in just like probably a 20-minute meeting in person or either virtual before you come to the fair, for sure you're going to be able to establish that connection. So I think that that's something like an advantage that we have being such a small country. I would like to add that students here are really familiar with the US system. You're going to see that they are actively looking for ways of improving their academic profiles, interested in STEM, business, art degrees, and they're always asking for what they can do in order to apply and go to the US and study this program. I mean, they really have the US as a academic destination, and that's something that just keeps growing. You're going to see as we added there that we had a significant 7.4 increase in the number of Uruguayans studying in the US. And this is for us something that is really important, because that would be like we have at around 400, 430 Uruguayans studying in the US. And this really shows that, well, our population is like trying to well get connected more with the US and the opportunities of studying abroad. Um, as we always say with Rita, probably we have more Uruguayans in the US, but sometimes they travel with their European passports. You're going to see that we have this tradition of, well, a lot of immigrants. We're a country built by immigrants. So sometimes they travel with other passports, and it's kind of hard get those numbers. But for sure, we know that we have plenty of students that are interested in going to the US to study. That being said, these are the kind of students that they know that they want to study abroad because of that history that they have of families moving abroad, and well, they are kids that are really interested in that connection. You're gonna see also that families and students continue to see the US as a place to get higher education, to build opportunities for research and innovation, and that's something that if you come to our fair, you're gonna see that that interest is there. Something about Uruguay is that students really value the in-person connection. Even though, of course, we have always opportunities to do things virtually, they really value come here and they visit and go with their families and plan like their week based on when is the Education USA Fair. We have students that are visiting us from the interior of the country, and they really value that counselor family engagement. So that's something that they really value, probably. And that would be one thing that I would like to highlight. Uruguay offers less competition, so I think that it's going to be easier to establish like and build brand recognition here through our social media, through videos that you could send us promoting your school, by attending the fair. We always have students that they say, "Yeah, I remember that I met this rep at the fair last year, and I really want to continue that connection." And for sure that they're gonna know all the universities that come to the fair, so they they're gonna know your university, and it's gonna help us to build that recognition. We always on social media promote your universities, talk about your programs, do Instagram lives, sharing about the universities that are coming to the fair. So we're going to help you to build that recognition in the country. I think that I'm gonna add something else is that in case that you're interested in connecting with other schools, we can also help you to do that. We have plenty of bilingual schools and private schools that are interested in having connections with universities in the US, so we can help you to get that brand recognition more efficiently. These are last year's fair numbers. You're going to see our number of registrations and the number of attendees. As Emilce said, we're really happy with those numbers, but we are always trying to, keep them up. So we're working hard on that for this year fair. We also host school visits. Most of the times in the morning of the day of the fair, we visit the Uruguayan American school and the British schools. Most of the times we have 50 plus kind of 60, 70 students joining. And then we have a welcome lunch event with high school representatives and university representatives. And then in the afternoon, we have our fair that this year we're really excited because it's going to be at the U.S. Ambassador's residence in Uruguay. So that's the first time that we're going to have our fair there. So we're really excited. It's going to be on September 4th. And probably we're going to add more details later about our itinerary, but just for you to know that you're going to have the opportunity to visit schools, really competitive schools, I might add, having also that time to connect with university reps and counselors. And then, well, you're going to have the fair in the afternoon, but in case that you need to coordinate any other event after a fair, we can also help you with that and connect you with other counselors. And I think that's most of the things that I wanted to share today about our lovely Montevideo. Maybe I'm gonna pass it on to Rita. I know that we have some questions there in the chat. But yes, thanks you for your time and for listening.
Thank you, Scarlett. And I just, before we start with questions, first of all, I want to introduce you to Victoria Barrera. Victoria is the affair coordinator for the South America Fair. She sits in Colombia, which is one of the destinations that you're going to be hearing about in the second webinar. And I want to advertise the second webinar that I put it here on the chat for the other parts of South America, including Chile, that's in the southern cone. We dispute, right? If you look geographically, I can, bring Chile back and forth. But the webinar will be on June 23rd, and Ana Villavicencio, the REACT for the Andean region, will be the moderator. So please join us, same time, noon Eastern time, for the other parts of South America. I just want to corroborate what Alejandra, Emilce, and Scarlett just said to you, and of course, Simone, David, and Jefferson. But for Uruguay, it's a one laptop per child country. And yes, that's the problem that we have, right, Scarlett? The students leave with their other nationality. They leave as Italians or Spanish because they think they're going to have perks with that. So the numbers don't show in Open Doors, but it shows in our offices, right? Same thing in Paraguay. I usually joke, if you're from Kansas, you're in paradise in Paraguay because they have Partners of the America in which students can apply, and for public institutions, they have out-of-state tuition waivers. So our job is to bring it to Paraguay so they go to other places. Kidding apart, Kansas is welcome as well. And Buenos Aires, look at Emilce, the nice, cool weather in Buenos Aires today. We have a lot of people, especially in the Santa Fe area, agribusiness has grown a lot. And that has brought a lot of more interest to the United States. So please don't miss these countries. And I think there was a question here about a branch campuses, I think from University of Utah, a branch campuses in South Korea. I just happened to visit one of our host institutions in São Paulo, Colégio Etapa, and they were telling me how they have a huge population of South Koreans there. And sometimes the students are interested in applying in South Korea. This is a perfect example of how you can target certain populations, especially at international schools. whose parents, are interested in bringing the students back to their home countries, right? So I think there's everything for everybody. But I would like to open up for questions. Feel free to ask the questions by unmuting your mic, or if you prefer, use the chat function. Don't be shy. It's your time with the advisors. And if there are no questions, I'm going to put you on the spot. So, Ivan, you're the first one. You participated in our fairs from Seattle colleges, and you also wear your partnership hat. And so, do you want to talk a little bit about your experience?
Well, in truth, I haven't been on this particular tour, but I have been on the community college tour, which was really great. We were in Sao Paulo and in Porto Alegre, and both those experiences were great. So many people. So yeah, I don't know what else to say exactly, being on the spot, except that I'm looking forward to the event, and I appreciate all your guys' hard work.
Well, thank you. And I'm gonna put that pause for questions, and otherwise I'll put somebody else on the spot. So here we go.
Do that.
Ivan was also in the STEM tour this year here in Colombia.
That's true.
He was
Yes,
with us in Cali, Manizales, Pereira, and Bogota as well.
Yes, and we did get to visit a number of the other countries in the region, like Peru and Ecuador, for the community college tour, and it was great. So I keep coming back to Education USA because I like what you guys do.
Thank you, Ivan. Questions? Okay, we got one question here. Marta says, is there any interest in professional certification programs? I'm going to let some of the advisors pick on that question, and then I'll answer as well. Who wants to answer this one?
I can have it.
Mhm.
Hi, Marta. For Brazil, I can speak for Brazil. It's very common for new professionals and people who are coming out from universities to look for that kind of program. And it has a different name here. They usually associate with MBAs and with post-certificate program. But yes, that's precisely what they look for. So if you are able to explain them what is it, because at some point they might know it by other names. So that could be interesting, I would say.
Thank you, Jeff. And I want to add what just happened with the state of Paraná. The governor of Paraná in Brazil, which has a very unusual name. In English, his name is Little Rat, Ratinho. He actually sponsored a group of 20 students, to go on professional certificate programs for 3 to 4 weeks. And he actually interviewed many of you, and he chose one university to send the students to. So that's another gain for you. There are so many state government related programs now that are looking for a university to send a group of students. In this case, he sent undergraduate students and an AI focus. So it ended up being an intensive English programs with an AI focus. So I think, and I think the question that Marta just said is, how do we find out? Through us, right? And now I think Michael Bussell talked to them. I think there was Temple, and I put it on English USA. Many of you reached out to them. They interviewed many universities, and they picked up their final choice. But we'll be happy to keep you abreast when this opportunity come. If you can do like webinars on AI, I think that's the buzzword of the moment, and more on STEM AI. And if you have programs that you can link to STEM AI, all our education advisors, and I dare say not only in WHA, but all over the world, we're looking for that as well. So think about what you have, highlight it for us. We'll be happy to do webinars. And great to know, Marta, that you customize programs, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. There are a lot of initiatives, government initiatives, to send students to professional certificate programs with AI. I see Mary saying, what is a way we can prepare, build interest prior to our visit in these countries on social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook? Do students prefer more informative posts or more vibe student experience? Last tour, Colombia had some options for university video submissions to Education USA, although ours didn't get selected. It seemed like a good opportunity. I think this is an excellent suggestion. And I'm just going to pass on to the advisors and then back to me. Who wants to take this one?
I can take this one.
Thank you.
So, social media is always a great platform to broadcast, first of all, your visit, but also what has proven to be very, very impactful are student testimonies. So if you have, someone that you would like to talk on behalf of your institution, that is great. They can tell what their experience was like, what programs they are studying. So it can be either you or a student from any of the countries who are participating in the circuit, and that always proves to have a lot of engagement.
Also, if you want to be creative and connect, Scarlett, go ahead.
Okay, it's fine, Rita. If not, you can finish what you were saying, but I just wanted to add that I don't know, Mary, what happened with the video that you submitted, but for example, if you submit your videos to our Education USA offices, for sure we're going to post them on social media. For example, something that we do with Montevideo is that we have like a folder, and we know that, I don't know, the universities that are visiting, if we have 6 videos, we try to coordinate our, like, I don't know, social media strategy. So we know that this day we're going to upload your video, introduce your university and all of that. So for sure, I think that this is maybe not for you, but for everyone and all the university reps that visit us. If you can find those videos, short videos, they do not have to be like super formal. Sometimes like something that is more natural, it's even better. You can just send them over, and for sure we're gonna post them on our social media. And I think that's a great way of I don't know, using these platforms before the fair, so the universities will have that brand recognition in the country, and also students and professionals know what to expect from the universities. And I wanted to add that I think that sometimes both physical and digital pamphlets work. I think that in Uruguay we are still like very connected to paper. So the kids love to have like their or Education USA swag and put their papers there and the folders. But I know that sometimes it's hard if you're, I don't know, traveling with a lot of things. So I think that maybe my suggestion is always bringing something in paper, but of course also have, some digital things. But at least in Uruguay, we love having those things in paper. And we can help you with those printings as well.
And also, I would vote for paper as well, because at schools in certain countries, they cannot have phones during school time, and so they cannot scan your QR code because they have no phones, right? So if you're doing school visits, always bring paper. David?
I was just asking because the last time I visited, it wasn't in South America, it was in East Asia, South Asia. But one of the groups that I went to, none of the students at any of the locations took any of the paper pamphlets. And then I had to lug them to each country, and it was a lot of weight. So that's why I asked. Thank you.
Yeah, and also, I mean, look at this advertisement, that we're just doing in Paraguay in all the Southern Cone. It says the Silicon Valley Edge. Ever wonder what would be like to study at the heart of the Silicon Valley? Then this webinar is for you. And then it's San Jose State University. But the fun fact is that not only they are advertising San Jose State, but they are saying, did you know that San Jose State University serves as the host campus for the Paraguayan national soccer team during the World Cup, and so super nice. So if you have, if you know of World Cup players, there are alumnus of your university, this is the time for us to go and do videos and do advertisement, So we really welcome everything you bring our way. We're going to be selecting and publishing. But just to give you those interesting ideas, we had a reel from one of the offices that pointed to an album for the soccer World Cup and started saying, this player from the US team went to this university, that player went to that university. So and don't forget that you are in Latin America. Soccer is a big thing. Everybody is just tied into the World Cup. If you can, find a way, or you have sports. Oh, there you go. Even, I didn't recognize which team, but anyway. But absolutely, if you have sports management or programs like that you can highlight, this is the time, and we would love to highlight you as of now. David, you had a comment?
Yes, actually, Rita, you already addressed what I was about to say, which is like in schools and here in Brazil, for example, we have a prohibition during the school visits, and so please bear that in mind. But also regarding what Scarlett was saying about social media, here we usually try to ask you guys to send us the piece you want for us, our Instagram stories. And in this particular Instagram stories, like try to showcase opportunities that you have specifically for Latin American students, for Brazilian, or for the other SounderCon students that may be more target. I think in this way can be better to attract them more easily.
All right. Thank you, David. Do we have more questions? All right. I think we do not. So we're almost at the hour. So I just want to put a plug, put your face to your name. This is Latin America. We kind of need you here because parents will probably not speak English, but they will trust you if they see you. That's a very, family oriented, and the decision makers for undergraduates are on parents. If you're recruiting for graduate, absolutely. And I want to comment what Michael Basso put here as a question for intensive English programs, short-term certificate programs. If you are doing the morning visits, I would choose the university visits versus the high school visits, because that's when you can broadcast more of the intensive English programs. And you were very lucky that we did have English USA coming on trade mission. And we prepared the field for you, So I bet you there will be a lot of people following up for short-term and intensive English programs. And yes, even Argentina is today, right? So Emilce, you are on the rooting team, and we're all rooting for Argentina today. Good luck, Argentina. And for those of you joining us, please do not forget to also come on our second webinar that will be with Chile, Colombia, Peru, Ecuador, and Ana Villavicencio. And again, I put it here on the chat, but I'm not sure if everybody was in. So if you don't mind, Vicky, if you can, or I can do that real quick. It's going to be on the 23rd of June at same time, 12 o'clock Eastern time. And so we hope to see you again. Thank you for participating today. And I hope to see you in person in the South America Fair. And go Team Argentina. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye, everyone.
Bye bye, everyone.